Curfews are being established in the United States right now, and people are already getting arrested from these curfews that are in place just for being in their car, just for being out during a curfew. Right now in the United States, this is happening. And we've actually seen a lot of this happening the past few months. I've been reporting on multiple curfew situations and people getting their cars just stopped and searched or getting arrested just for being outside in their own town past a certain time, all right? And this is all part of a bigger plan and a bigger conditioning. We've seen the past 2 years. Remember when all this stuff popped off? There were curfews, there were lockdowns. You couldn't leave your house. You would get in trouble if you left your house. We've already seen this on a mass scale, and people are conditioned for this for 15-minute cities to be implemented as well. All right, we're going to talk about 15-minute cities in just a minute because that's the next plan. And that's going to restrict our movement and restrict where you can go, what you can buy, what you can do, all right? Or you are going to get in big trouble if you don't follow the rules. And we've already seen this in the United States before the past few years, so it's not far-fetched that this could happen again. All right, so let's get into what is happening exactly right now. So a emergency has been declared. There's been mass evacuations, and people are getting arrested if they do not evacuate their own hometown, their own homes, their own houses, their own streets. They're getting arrested for it. So a major evacuation was ordered from this train derailment. I actually reported on this a few days ago, but there are more updates. The curfew was not in place, and people were not getting arrested from this curfew. And you can see here that there was a massive train crash that was carrying hazardous chemicals, and they had to bring in hazmat crews for this. And it says the glow from the fire could be seen 10 miles away. And this actually prompted the governor himself to issue an emergency evacuation order. And the spill of contamination has been so bad that the EPA is coming out and saying that contaminants did make their way into the water, and it is having an impact on fish in the area. He said actions were taken to minimize that, and the data is showing that the drinking water is safe. We'll see about that. We've seen multiple situations where drinking water in America is heavily contaminated with these toxins, and a lot of times it's from stuff like this. It's from a massive spill, or a factory had a spill, or there's runoff, or there's dumping into a local river. This happens all the time where water tables get contaminated. So these people's houses could be affected for decades potentially. All right, I used to live in an area where I had to have a special filter on my well because of the nematode applications that they used in the area for the orange groves. All right, they use this very harsh nematode chemical, and it was banned, but it's still in the soil 50 years later, and you have to use this special filter. So this could be affecting these people for decades in this area. Let's get into this curfew that was implemented. So this catastrophe happened, and a curfew was set in place by the local authorities, and they have now been arresting people that break this curfew. Right? It's one of these things like, you live here, you didn't cause this catastrophe, and very suspicious circumstances. It crashed right near a gas station and a heating oil supplier, and it's a main railway for the supply chain going through Ohio and Pennsylvania. All right, and it's no fault to your own that this train crashed, and now you face curfews and mandatory evacuations in your own hometown. So you can see here 2 men charged accused of breaking East Palestine curfew, and that's East Palestine, Ohio. You can see here 2 men were charged Sunday for allegedly failing to obey the evacuation order. All right, and this is bigger. Bigger picture is 15-minute cities. Bigger picture is lockdowns the past few years, and we've already seen this curfews implemented from these other emergencies that have happened. All right, a train derailment has been burning for days, and an emergency evacuation order is in place. It says Chad Fowler, 37, was charged and accused of failing to obey 10 p.m. curfew and it says that he was sitting in his vehicle only a few hundred yards away from the crash site at 1 a.m. Ooh, a few hundred yards away. Scary stuff, all right? Just sitting in his car, and you just get arrested, all right? I wouldn't be out at 1 a.m. anyways. I would be sleeping, but this is America, and you can't even be in your car in a place where you live in the middle of the night. You're going to get arrested, all right? Even if you're hundreds of yards away from this place. So it's just one of these things the police state is building in America. Any chance they get, they're activating the police state. Remember these riots that were happening a few weeks ago, and they were activating the National Guard. They were activating the SWAT police. They were getting the military police ready to be on the streets, all right? Any chance they get, they want to activate the police state and use all their shiny weapons, all right? You can see here that this is also a bigger plan. This is a 15-minute city plan, all right? It's conditioning. We've been conditioned the past 2 years to stay in your home, to have your travel restricted, to not go anywhere. I'm not even going to lie. I was doing whatever I wanted. I was traveling in my RV. This is when I was traveling in my RV, living in my RV, traveling state to state, going. It was honestly kind of great. All right, all the state parks were empty. All the parks were empty. All the spots were open. Everything was kind of cheaper. Gas was cheaper. It was kind of a great time to be RVing. It was like peak time to be RVing. And yeah, it's one of these things. People were conditioned though. They thought they couldn't do anything. They thought they couldn't go anywhere. And I was like, even my friends and family, they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm traveling in my RV. I'm traveling the country. I'm doing cool stuff. I'm doing fun stuff." All right, it's one of these things. We've been conditioned to just stay in your house. And now 15-minute cities are being implemented. And you can see here South End rules out signing up to 15-minute cities. This is a city in the UK. But you can see here that councils across the country are signing up to a net zero 2030 scheme, and some are including plans for 15-minute cities where residents have everything they need within a 15-minute walk cycle of public transport ride. And this includes work, healthcare, education, and leisure facilities, and is aimed at reducing car journeys. The scheme restricts residents' ability to travel freely across the city, and some cities like Oxford are taking things further and limiting the number of journeys between designated 15-minute neighborhoods, with fines for those who exceed their limit of around 100 journeys a year. So that's a journey, all right? And that's the journey in your 15-minute city as well. 100 journeys in your that means you can leave your house every 3 days to walk around your 15-minute city. Not even every 2.7 days. You can leave your house and travel this 15-minute city. This is in Oxford, UK. Right now, this is being implemented right now, and they're trying to have it full scale by 2030, all right? This is a real agenda that they're implementing, and fines if you exceed your limit. 15 minutes, crazy. I'm 30, 45 minutes to get to anything, all right? So 15 minutes just seems insane. Takes 15 minutes to walk down the road where I live, so it's very dystopian that this is being implemented, and it says South End's local plan will have 8, quote, complete neighborhoods. So they're still kind of implementing it. They're saying that they want to have these 15-minute cities, but they're not going to force you or fine you or anything. But they're like, oh, it's kind of a good idea to have everything within 15 minutes of each other so you don't drive your car or do anything. All right, so 100 journeys a year, or you're going to get arrested. Just like these people in Ohio, you're going to get arrested, emergency declared. Sorry, you can't be in your own city, your own town. You broke curfew. You're going to get locked up, all right? You're going to get fined in these 15-minute cities. So we need to get prepared, guys. You need to get out in the country. You need to get out of these cities because this is a UN agenda. That's why this same number keeps popping up. Net Zero 2030 scheme. This is Agenda 2030, and they want to bring net zero carbon down to zero, which absolutely makes no sense. Every breath you take produces carbon. Every life form on Earth is a carbon-based life form and uses carbon, needs carbon to exist. All right? It makes absolutely no sense. Plants grow bigger when you inject CO2 into their environment. All right? Greenhouse farmers know this. Greenhouse farmers do this like crazy. They will pump CO2 into their greenhouses to get higher production, more leaf growth from their plants because the plants love it and turn it into oxygen. This is a dystopian agenda that is being implemented. And 2030, guys, it's already 2023. 7 years. That means all of this stuff is going to start accelerating and is going to get real. All right. They have a plan. They are telling you what the plan is, and you need to react and get prepared for this plan. All right. You need to be able to grow your own food. You need to be out of the country. You need to be self-reliant, self-sufficient, so you aren't subject to these insane dystopian rules and restrictions that they are going to put on us very soon. And this is already happening in the UK. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like, hit that thumbs up, hit that sub, hit that bell. Go watch my other videos. All right. Massive cyber attack on some of the biggest companies in the US just happened. Go watch that video and another video I posted earlier today too. Thank you guys so much. And you have a big old blessed day.